Welcome to Sunday's video, where we look at something. Actually, today we're going to look at something really funny. I think you'll really like this, guys.
Just devastated.
And then in the second part of the video, we take a look at your comments. So yeah, Dr. Arlene, this is her TikTok thing. She's like a what is it, political pundit type of analyst who knows everything about politics in the USA. And here she is on the night of the big competition that happened in the south of Canada, not Mexico. And here she is. Just, you're gonna like this.
We're closing in on almost 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I've been tracking everything that's been going on across the country today. And my most important encounter was when I went out to get my champagne. I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now, the numbers are there. She's taking this election. And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? I didn't care. And I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked home. Bye-bye.
Further on in the week, it was like a day, 2 days later when I picked that up, she left it up. She left that up. Like, you'd take it down, wouldn't you? You would cut that. I don't know if she's still got it up now. I don't know if she'll pull me for showing it, but she was confident. She was very confident, but it just shows you that some people are really, they just don't get a grasp. They don't have a grasp of what's happening around them. You know what I mean? They sort of have a bubble that they live amongst, and people around them will talk about. See, she's talking about reproductive rights and everything, and that's what the election's about. You know what it's about? You know what these elections are about? They're about what's happening now, about what's happening to people now. Food prices, gas prices, cost of living, nowhere to live, house prices, rents. That's what people are worried about. They're not worried about what could happen 6 months, 2 years down the line. They're worried about the here and now, and that's what people don't get. These pundits and everything, they really don't grasp the realities of life that people, everyday regular people, are having to live under these woke governments. Anyway, let's get on with your comments. Okay, it's that time again. It's time to listen to what you guys have got to say. And don't forget, check your subscriptions, because many people are getting wiped off the subscriptions of many channels. Liberal reveals all. We can win the election. Yeah, how crazy are some of these liberals? Liberal MP reveals what Trudeau said after the revolt meeting. Exclusive interview. Another one that I managed to grab off the radio. And yeah, they think even with Justin Trudeau at the helm, these guys, they think they're going to win the election. Wayne said,
his plan is to cheat. You realise that, don't you? That's where his arrogance and narcissistic confidence comes from.
You know what? I know the interference and everything pushed the vote last time, but I don't think they can technically properly cheat in Canada. I think it's a little bit tighter than the country below us, not Mexico. Yeah, I don't think they can properly cheat, but I get what you're saying. They could bus in voters from out of town, but imagine doing that again and getting caught again. Imagine how bad that would be. Hugh said,
When Trudeau lost his majority in 2019, I think that was the first time he had ever been told no in his life, and it made him very spiteful towards the voting public.
yes, that's probably why he decided, you know what, let's give them more taxes. Let's tax their fuel to get to work now. Bill said,
These Liberal MPs should have stood up for their constituents long ago. Too little, too late.
exactly, Bill, exactly. It's very strange that while all the stuff was going down, and while Trudeau was pushing carbon taxes and capital gains tax increases, none of these Liberal MPs had the backbone to say no. None of them. But now that they're looking like they're going to all lose the jobs, now they're thinking about, maybe we should say something. Yeah, I think you bang on the money there, Bill. Christine says,
This fear-mongering about Poilievre is infuriating and so demeaning to Conservatives and those who support Pierre and his party. They just don't get it that Pierre is exactly what Canadians want in a Prime Minister.
yeah, look at what's happened in the country below us. They voted. They didn't vote for things that don't really affect them. They voted because food's expensive, gas is expensive, taxes are expensive. They voted to lessen the immigration, to secure the borders. They voted for things that need fixing now, not things that need fixing in a year or a few years' time, or what might affect your grandchildren's grandchildren. No, they didn't. They're not bothered about fixing the weather at the moment because, weather is weather, isn't it? It's what it's going to be. It doesn't matter what we do. The weather's going to do what it wants to do. And other countries don't care what we do anyways. Icky said,
Never interrupt your enemy when they are making mistakes. He certainly isn't my friend or making my life livable.
no, definitely not. Moose says, Pierre Poilievre's only just getting started. Yeah, imagine. He has promised to release the names of the people who we want the names of once he gets elected. That would be something we need to hold him to. Freedom said,
I'm 70 years old and I've always believed that no one is above the law in Canada. What has happened to the greatest country in the world?
I've no idea, mate. I came here 20 years ago, and it, like I said before, there weren't people sleeping on the streets. There wasn't tent cities back then. There was nothing like that. We were just coming out of a recession. Harper had done a fantastic job of getting Canada back on track, and everything was looking good. And then Trudeau took over. It's not my fault. It was Harper, and probably I'm hinting towards the guy in the country below us, not Mexico. Why Justin Trudeau will be happy about the election result. Yeah. Kathy said,
He's abandoned Canada and he's now supporting Africa. It's all Harper's fault.
yeah, they want to send a load of money for trains education. It's not trains, but call it trains, but take the I out. Education across in Africa. I'm not in England now, so it's across in Africa. Used to be down in Africa when I was in England, and now it's across in Africa. Yeah, they want to send money there. Mary said,
I'm so tired of all the lies. Election.
I think that just about sums up 80%, 90% of the population, Mary. Orthopendix. Huh?
5 billion, but nothing for vets. And the waiting list for basic diagnostic exams is over 400,000 for Ontario and 440,000 in Quebec. The government is pushing maid service for basic healthcare problems.
The 5 billion is what we're going to send to one of the wars, not the one with the people with the star on the flag. Not their war, the other war, the yellow and blue people. Claude said,
Prime Minister Trudeau soiled himself when that guy won, then went and changed his shirt.
Yeah, he's. They don't get on well together, do they? Let's face it. Brian said,
Trudeau will blame anyone but himself.
He always does. Lone Boy said,
If Clueless Calm got in, that would have been the end of the USA. Go, Donny. How could you vote for someone who can't even answer a question?
she never did any interviews or talked with any news channels directly, did she? And she wouldn't go on that Joe guy's program either. She did say that if he came to her, he would do a 45-minute scripted thing, but she just can't do it. She can't do anything without a script. And they got all the celebrities in, didn't they, to promote her. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. What people care about is what it's costing them to live or not live. In Canada, it's what it's costing us not to live, and people going to record numbers going to food banks. Michael said,
These people look insane. I can't believe anyone will post their mental breakdowns.
on social media, I know, they're nuts. All the people going, how can you vote for that man? It's just the way it is, isn't it? It's the way it is. That's how they are. That's how these people are. Look at the woman at the beginning of this video. They are so up their own bottoms. It's absolutely, it's my way or not at all. You know, there is no agreement. There is no conversation. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're just so adamant that whatever they think, the left, the liberals, whatever they think is right, it's right. It's right because it's liberal. You can't be right just because you're liberal. It doesn't work like that. Jeremy said,
Yes, so right. We, the Lions, must make courage great again. No one ever makes their mark by being like everyone else, also known as the flock of conformists.
and we'll finish up on these slick, shady... I never get this right, Dave. These slick, shady Dave K.
Anyone else still waiting on more names of the traitors in our house?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Polyev will release all the names in due time as soon as he becomes the Prime Minister of Canada. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.